Hello everyone, this is Bigalski,
And this is JTB.
and this is Ninja Gaiden 2004 Very Hard Chapter 12, my commentary walkthrough with my good buddy JTB. We are focusing on, making the time limits. We could just actually skip a lot of fights and make the end of chapter time limit because it'd be a lot easier because you're going to make the required kills. But since we like to go for score, we're actually going back and fighting a lot of fights that you normally couldn't do in Ninja Gaiden Black. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what this is going to be.
You wouldn't have the time thinking about it on Black because the fights are a lot bigger. You think about these fights, and generally speaking, you can kind of blast through these on Very Hard. But in like Master Ninja, Very Hard, and NGB, you actually get a lot more enemies to kill. So you don't get the time to kind of respawn all this stuff. And like with the scoring system being based around UTs as well, that's where
you want to run that down.
Yeah.
Plus, you have, they're very hard as berserkers and ogres in this stadium challenge. Whereas I've got, one UT is going to kill a red dragon when I finally get there. So I decided to do something a little bit different. JTB on his run went one way. I'm going another way. On these next few chapters, we'll be doing that. It's not always, it has to be this way. And so at the end of the day, as long as you can make the end of chapter time limit and figure out which way is going to be the most points, I mean, I think that's probably the best thing you can do. Watch this phantom hitbox. Hit that guy at the very end.
Yeah, that's a really good way to show that too. Because we always talk about that. It's kind of tricky to show it on video.
It's funny. It killed the guy far away, but not the guy right next to me.
It's too funny hitting the bats with the UF.
And the sound, we can't hear the sound when we're doing the recordings, but it's still funny. Wait till the next video when I UT them all at once. So, we talked about, we actually had to, this is how dedicated we are. We had a little glitch and we had to start the whole thing over again.
Yeah, this is actually take 2.
Right. But I think we were talking about in the last time here, instead of just UFing UTing with the UF.
That's a different video.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We can't put that on YouTube.
Yeah. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, just Nimpo. Just Nimpo these guys.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah, it'd be quicker, but of course you'd be burning through a lot of Nimpo. And you are going to want to try and save some Nimpo for the pill bugs down below. You don't want to be burning like 10, 12 Nimpos here.
Right. Well, that's one reason I chose this pattern, I think. I could have gone down and come back up, but being smart about which way you're going to choose. I go this way so I can buy some supplies at Miramasa, which I do. But if you go down right away and have to come back up, being smart about your route. Again, it doesn't have to be the same route, but you still have to try to be optimal in whichever way you decide to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it on that note, working out that it's one of the things that gives me half a mind to actually, because I've still got the unpatched system, is to go back and actually do an old school karma run where you disregard all the time bonuses. Just to kind of mess around a little bit with like route optimization and like where you'd go, what pattern you'd go in, because I feel like if you were going to go back and do your karma runs on this, I'd say you've got kind of 3 kind of styles of karma run. You could do like the old school one, which is just run every time limit down right to nothing and ignore the chapter time limit. You've got the fresh game karma run, which would be like kind of similar to what you're doing here. And then there'd be the successive play karma run, which is quite a bit different because of how early you get like Armor of Fortune, the extra Spirit of the Devils. It does kind of play a big part in how you can go back and do certain fights in different chapters.
Well, and see, that's something that people ask, why are we doing that? We're showing this way because, there's not a lot of stuff out there, and we want to give people options, or it's not just run through the game and try to beat it. If you're going for score, it's real challenging. And just talking about these different routes that you can take, that's what makes it a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it does, and it's just a more interesting way to play the game. You mentioned it in the run that just died, but going back to a lot of these older games, it's more of a... you look at it, and it's more of a kind of reflection on the way kind of technology was and games were, 10, 15 years ago. In this day and age, within a week, say, of a game coming out, there's probably going to be like no damage and speed runs up of it. Every game is pretty much picked to the bone, immediately, because everyone is making game videos these days. Whereas you can go back as far as like Sigma and NG2, even NG3, which is what, 2012? I mean, NG3 sucked. That's probably why people didn't do videos of that. But,
I actually made some videos of that when I didn't play Razor's Edge, though.
Yeah, but even then, you don't have to go back that far to where there isn't like every single kind of run you can think of out there on video for these old games. So it's just nice to have it, to reference. I'm going through Sigma at the moment. I've got a calm run going on Sigma, and I don't really have a whole lot of reference material for that. There's not a great deal out there that I can look at. I have my own videos, but they're in like, resolution-wise, they're in negative numbers. It's almost, it's hard to watch. It looks real bad. And now, even though I'm not going for like a full-blown 100%, all-out karma run, if someone wants to do that, they at least have something that is watchable. It's not like Metal Gear Solid 1 pixels on screen. They can read the numbers on this new run, which is a decided improvement over the last one.
Well, one of the things that we talked about, again, on part 1 of our mess up was I'm like 1,000,000 points behind JTB. And that fight, because I went to Miramasa, that's what that little cutscene was before I jumped down and where you would put the little tablet to let the water out. And that was an awful fight. Just not sure what I'm doing, afraid to... do a forward Y, or do I use a Nimpo? All that stuff. And I spent, even though I made the time limit, I spent way too long on that particular fight. And that's how, out of the course of the game, JTB gets that far ahead of me. And all of that stuff adds up if you're going for score. Because at the end of the chapter, you'll see how close I run it. But I think I have like, 20 or 30 extra kills less than what he does. Like going into that room, how I came into this room right here, kind of rolled to the center and waited a second. I could have just came in and lit the Nimpo and then let them fall on it, and they would kill him, and that would save a second or two, and my kill bonus might have been 20,000. So there's almost 2,000 points right there that might have been different. Not being able to... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say, and as we always say, like that, you can never make up points. Once you clear that chapter and decide to go on and decide to proceed, that's it. If you've left behind like 10,000 points in chapter 3, that's 10,000 points you've left behind. You can't get them back.
Yeah, it's... And again, for the people who don't play, it's not that big of a deal, but the game is a lot more than just... running through and taking your time and farming essence. We've said it a lot because we're champions of that style of play. We enjoy it, and it's not as easy as people think. Maybe people want to, play it and it be easy, and at the end of the day, as long as it says Master Ninja at the end of the game, that's all that matters. It's still a game at the end of the day, so I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme, but...
If it didn't, do you think people would be more interested? Like, unless you got a really good score and you just always got Ninja Dog, you suck. Like, do you think people would care?
Some yes, some no. Now watch this platforming.
Yeah.
So I waste 3 seconds getting up there, and then that kind of puts me in a funny position. I do my forward Y, knock him off screen, but don't kill him. So now I gotta wait for him to jump.
That's a really good showcase of just the health differences between the two games. I don't think any man-sized enemy can withstand a forward Y, can they, from the UF? Maybe the commando guys on Master Ninja, maybe.
Yeah.
But imps, no way can they survive that.
So it's something that, again, I'm running the timer down.
Yeah, I mean, that
Even
was a
though
good, like, 3-4 seconds to get those guys to come out. Yeah.
So there's another, maybe 1,500 points I missed from, what JTB had. I'm just kind of guesstimating there. But all of a sudden, in 2 fights, there's 4,000 points right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, or here's another one where Nimpo, watch the kill counter. All 12.
But it doesn't get that one guy.
Yeah. Well, I thought there's sometimes where it'll kill all 12, but those things like to ghost until you actually go and hit them before they blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to hit them to trigger their death animation, yeah.
So again, my pattern was a little bit different from what he did. I used the ninjas here to go to low health for the next fight. If you're worried about picking up a blue, roll jumping, just UT. I think we talked about it in the last video, but didn't show it. That's the reason I showed it there. But even that cost me a little time that I didn't need to use, but I did it for the video purpose.
Yeah. Worth noting here too, you do have the Kitetsu now, don't you? So if you wanted to get to, if you look at the health bar, it's not pulsating. So like when it pulsates, that's when you're at like, the maximum damage boost for the UF. That's one really handy thing about having the Kitetsu, is you can just equip the Kitetsu and have it just, take off a couple of notches and then just equip another weapon. And then you've still got like as much health as you can have, but still have that maximum damage buff on the UF.
Right.
Which does make a big difference. I've never actually, that's something to do actually. I've never tested the difference in damage, but it is a significant decrease in terms of your damage boost if you have like, just low health versus the flashing health bar.
Right. Well, I wanted to show this way to skip the stadium puzzle. Usually everybody comes, the Kiori way, the 2 walls behind me. You can go up either left or right, but I wanted to show this way. I don't think it's really been shown on video too much. When you platform as bad as I do, that way is a lot easier, because if you sit there and try to run up those sides and miss 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden there's 30 or 40 seconds that you've missed. So I did want to show that other way, make sure it's out there. And this part right here, not having the camera control is brutal, and you kind of got to listen to what the guys are doing and actually have a little bit of a feel. The drinking game is on all through the whole time, so
through this you have to watch this entire run, every chapter back to back, and then post in the comments what hospital you're in. That's how it works. So what happened right there is a great example of like this fight can be quite frustrating, because if you get like 3 or 4 instances of them spawning right next to you, and you kill like 2 or 3 with 1 UT, that saves you so much time. I mean, you look how long he died at, what, 82? 77 was when he respawned. So if you can kill all 3 at once, you're saving 5 seconds on that death animation time for them to spawn again. So if you can get like that 5 or 6 times on all 3 guys, 5 seconds per kill, that's going to be what, like 50, 60 seconds?
Yeah.
And then you look at that, how many points a second is worth, that's going to be, more points than you get. Whereas if you get kind of shitty spawns and you just kill 1 at a time, that's time you're losing, it's points you're losing.
I'm telling you what, it's my roll jumping where I need to go. Sometimes it's worked out, but I've missed a couple times where I meant to go one way and then I had to wait for a guy to spawn. But here's something too. We talk about like our recovery frames. There was an instance a little bit earlier where it looked like I UT'd both guys, but he was actually still in his animation from coming up from underground. Yeah. And that's where having that kill counter helps, because I realized I didn't kill him, even though I thought I might have. And then so I was able to XXY him instead of maybe hold for a UT, thinking I was waiting for the next guys to come out. I hope all that kind of makes sense there.
You can also use the combo counter for that as well, just in case, because generally speaking, unless you hit like 2 guys with the UT, you're only ever going to be at 1 on your combo counter here, because the UF's UT's only got 1 hit to it. So if you do that and you see that your combo counter's still at 1, you didn't hit 2 guys. Right.
So a couple different ways to
Speaking of which, look how long that combo extension is in this game. That's insane. Like, that's still there though. Like, that combo, like, that was a combo. Like, and yet in Black, they really, for whatever reason, it seems weird that they would change that. This is looking real good though. You've got loads of doubles here. Like, on mine, I got hardly any.
Well, like I said earlier, I play better than you, so.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. This is actually my footage. Like.
Right. I think my inability to, roll one way and jump the other is proving that one false. Now, one thing I did want to say, whenever I let the ninjas take me down to low health, and JTB brought up about the Kitetsu, that is a good way, but if you have a big health bar, that takes a while to do that. So, get to a comfortable level, and then if you want to say, you know what, this is a little bit too much, then you can just, equip the Kitetsu and let it drain down a little bit. I liked it because my health bar being right in between the two Nimpos right there, or, that allows me to take a hit. If I was a little bit lower, I might not be able to take or a blocked hit. See, like right there.
Yeah. If you were on like the lower health, that would have burned a talisman. And if you have to get down to low health in a fight, unless it's on like the berserkers where they give you like 5 years to do the encounter. Generally speaking, like the time spent getting back down to low health is not going to be worth the points lost to do that. Like this run of this Fiend challenge here, this is really, really strong. If you'd have burned 2 talismans here and had to like waste that time getting back down, Ryu and his amazing target.
Right, yeah, you're like, man, this is really good, and then I whiffed right when you said it. But I make it up though right here, I think. Yeah, I got 2.
So yeah, if you have to waste that like 10, 15, 20 seconds, twice, that's, you think how many points that's going to cost you. It's no way going to be beneficial to do that. But generally speaking, if you're doing any kind of karma run, like, or kind of points focused run, you're probably going to be at a point where like you don't need like the ginormous health bar, because if you actually get every health upgrade, your health bar is incredibly long in the game. It goes up until like, is it the scarab icon in the title in the item screen, I think?
Oh yeah,
if you get them all.
Yeah,
it is a huge health bar, and even on like berserkers, getting that down takes a while. Like it takes a good few seconds to get that health drain.
Something else that we talk about here, kind of keeping track of your essence and where you've killed enemies. I think I got all 3 of them right there.
Hey,
yeah. But that's important as well. To know, it's like, okay, I know I killed 3, so I'm going to have some essence out, or I've just killed 1. Let me have to wait. Maybe I need to do a combo. Just something.
As well, in this game, you will get one thing that does make this really cool is that you do get 2 essence orbs out of these guys if you kill them with a UT. So chaining your UTs is a lot easier because before they would only give you 1 in Black. So doing it this way, with this essence system, I still really prefer this essence system. I think it's way better. I wish they had like the HP1 one where you could absorb the essence like you do in Black, but like the essence like reward system was the same.
Well, one thing I did, because I kind of did a playthrough of this, and I was over by a couple minutes. So I skipped a couple fights at the very beginning that I normally might have done on some of the Fiend Soldier guys, and I also didn't pick up the reward for that, which is I think a life of 1,000 gods.
Oh yeah, because it spawns on the platform, doesn't it?
Right at the very top. So it's like, why I'm decent enough to where I can make through, get through the game with this big of a health bar. So one extra slot isn't going to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to remember if I got that on my run. I can't remember.
I think you did because I was looking at that. Did he go get it or not? So I think you did. So
I would say in general, like, skip it. Really.
If you're worried about points and making the chapter time limit, and you're not, JTB again, has these fights, these movements, and he goes and gets that, fights a couple more fights than I do, and still makes the chapter time limit. So I mean, all that stuff adds up. We talk about it, and working on your movement. I just think I'm past that point where I can, my reflexes just aren't, what they used to be to learn new movements. Old dog, new tricks type things,
I'm surprised that didn't kill that guy. It looked like he was right in that UT.
Right.
Yeah, so, this fight's kind of tricky, really, because if you can get like the really good spawn manipulation going, I think that's in my HP1 video. You can just blitz this fight so quickly.
Right.
But if you just kill 2 instead of 3 at one point, it completely throws it out of sync. And you've got like the brown imp spawning, God knows where, and your UT won't kill him. Like when they go underground like that can mess it up.
Right. Well, trying to hold your UT, if people paid attention a little bit earlier, you'll see me kind of holding my UT until I see what everybody's gonna do. Because if you just automatically release it, you might only kill 1 or you might miss. I mean, obviously I missed a couple times in the stadium challenge, but that's because I didn't have the camera control and kind of heard him in the background and felt I needed to release it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be doing this, counterattacking everybody. And see, it didn't kill that guy right there. All my other counterattacks killed him. It didn't kill the guy behind me.
Yeah, I don't think the brown guys can survive that, can they? It's just the pink ones.
Yeah.
Man, imagine if a brown one survived that. But damn. It's like, this guy's not messing around. Ooh, that was cheeky.
Yeah. So they're going to come from that other area for a while, and then, I tried this a couple different ways to see if I could improve a few seconds, and literally, sometimes they come from up the stairs, sometimes they come back from the other side where you first started. It just didn't seem to be, something that was consistent, and maybe it's because I got them scattered.
That definitely plays a factor, yeah. That's what I was talking about with the spawn pattern. This is one of the few fights in the game where the spawns just dynamically shift for whatever reason. If you can kill all 3 at once, like kill 3, they spawn, kill 3, they spawn, kill 3, they spawn, you can really manipulate that spawn pattern to just kind of carry you with UTs. That's in my HP1 video if anyone wants to see it. But the problem with that is that, of course, if one of your UTs only kills 2 guys, or you let your UT go and one of them goes underground, that completely throws the spawn pattern like completely out of sync, and then you might get like 2 guys spawning up here, and then the other guy might be spawning like down the bottom right round the corner where the tree is, and then it takes ages for him to get near you.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That happened a couple times. I was surprised that the brown guy came from the stairs. There was one time where he came from downstairs, and then I went downstairs when I had 1 left, and then he came from upstairs.
Yeah.
So, that's what we're talking about. You might be able to stand with the Dobby right by the doorway where they can't get you, but again, with the spawn pattern, you'd have to wait for them to come to that area. Mm-hmm. And so you're really going to lose out on some time. That could be faster, but I was happy with that. At the end of the day, I kind of said, a certain time or a certain point score, and then I'm going to move on. But again, it hurts me because I'm not fighting the fights that I should be fighting sometimes.
I was going to say, you just need these guys?
Yeah, that's all I did with...
yeah.
I'll chain it here, I think. But some of them...
You see how fast they get to you in this game? Like they are right on you, like, the second you go through that door.
Here's something too. Oh, here's kind of like a little funny kind of blooper thing I think it's going to happen. Where I'm stuck. Did you see that? Yeah. And then I'm kind of like, okay, where is everybody? And then it's like, oh my god, am I going to have to fight this challenge again? Because I haven't saved.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just doing this. That's the great thing. But you don't have to worry about all the saves like you would in Ninja Gaiden Black, because you're not worried about the UT points.
Yeah, it's not as big of a deal to kind of do a fight again in this game. Like, it's even though you are, you're still going to lose the points, but it's because in Black it's so dependent on that very, very specific pattern and the UTs you get. To do something like that and then think, oh, okay, I'm going to go and do this, and then I'll be all right. it doesn't necessarily have to be the next fight that goes wrong. You know, you could mess up on some platforming and cost yourself a few seconds, and you think, well, that's time I really need. I can't really afford to waste that time. I'm gonna have to go back and do the fight again.
Well, if you notice, I ran quite a ways before I was going to drag that essence, and I was really surprised that guy hadn't caught up to me as far as I ran. That's the reason I ran that far, to give him a chance to, catch up to me so I could UT, not on this fight, but on the fight beforehand. Yeah. Also, make sure you go ahead and lower the drawbridge while you're here.
Mm-hmm. I just thought those the commando guys, they're another enemy that will always give you 2 essence orbs if you kill them with a UT. I think they give you 1050 or 850 to kill them with a UT. So again, the limit for a single essence orb is 700. That's why they give you more.
Well, on this right here, like I said, I saved. I didn't mind the guy hitting me in that one fight because look at that splash damage to kill that guy.
How much money they give you?
Yeah,
I just love how many orbs that pop out. Man, I really do miss this essence system. I think it's so much more satisfying to see all that money come out. Man, I'm rich. you see all this essence pop out.
Well, see, I killed him, and he had to go through his death animation. But yeah, I didn't mind that guy killing me or hurting me, so I could go down to low health anyway. It actually worked out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was really kind of. It wasn't a big deal. I was kind of pissed that he was, in the background, and I thought my UT would hit him. But at the end of the day, it helped me out versus having to wait for. I'm surprised again that essence didn't.
Yeah, I am as well. I thought that'd change. I just thought those magma fiends, they give you 2 essence orbs by default, don't they?
Yeah.
Because I think, what do they give you? Is it 1,000 they give you?
I'm not sure.
1,000 essence? Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I know if you kill them without a UT, it's still 2. Look at my good platforming here. Here we go again.
Yeah, it's still 2 orbs. I mean, this chapter's a good place as well. If you're down on items, because you can, you get so many essence orbs that you don't really need to worry about chaining your UTs as much. Just collect a couple of magma fiend essence. Just kill them with a UT and collect the money. I think they're worth 10 grand or something. So you should easily be able to replenish any items that you need in this chapter.
Well, wait till you see the essence I get in chapter 13 from a couple of these guys. It was just blurred the screen of how much I got. It was pretty amazing. Did I kill him? Okay, at least I got one. But again, missing my counter attack right there. But I got lucky to kill all 3. Does it kind
of? It's a really good showcase of the ET's hitbox. Actually, the grounded ET's hitbox is kind of nuts.
It happened a couple times in the stadium challenge too.
Mm-hmm. And it's active for so long as well. One thing you sometimes see, he'll let the ET go, the weapon will be on the floor, and you can think, oh, that's it, and something will literally run into the weapon and be oh, and die because it's actually still active.
So here we go. Here's my bloopers. I have problems with this. I don't know what it is other than it's bad. So here we go. I've got a few of them. So if people are having problems and thinking all this stuff, hey, we play so great. Nope. Here's some of these bloopers.
No, this never happens to me.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, you're JTV. I mean.
Oh, that happens to me plenty.
Oh, see, now I absorbed that essence. See? It's oh, crap. Well, okay, I'll just switch over to my low health. Watch. I'll just slip over. Oh, crap. Oh, man. I love putting this stuff in. I mean, I hated this part.
This is all intentional.
I'm just showing people that, these mistakes can be made. It's okay.
That's weird how the Debilero seems a lot more effective against these guys in NGO4.
It's just the way I use it.
On Master Ninja, in Black, I mean, it takes what? Is it 2 or 3 full combos to kill them in Black?
Well, I think in the higher levels, it's ogres, isn't it? I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, it is ogres. Yeah, I'm thinking just in mission mode.
Okay. See, I'm fine jumping in the lava there, but not there. That was the bad part about me getting those extra blue orbs I didn't mean to get, because now I got to get the low health for these next. Because I'm telling you what, if you don't have low health, you're not going to make the time limit whenever you get to these guys.
No, you're not. I mean, like on this one you'd be fine, but the next one's coming up. Like,
yeah.
No way. And also, like, you cannot let these guys hit you on this health because they will kill you. Like, they do so much damage. You know, you have to use the lava pretty much. Of course, they're in the lava, so you know that's dangerous.
So okay, let me look forward. I could make a whole. It was awful. It was awful. Okay, so I got past those. So let me see if I've learned anything. Okay, I did that. I'm good. Oh, I forgot to change over to my dragon sword. So okay, you know, let me get to low health.
It'd be cool.
Now
it'd be cool if it was NG2 style, because NG2 you can just flying swallow like in neutral, can't you? You
right.
Don't need an enemy.
So I think here I just said, you know what? I'm tired of trying to make this jump. And JTB said it was a little bit different for him as well. This jump.
Yeah, this seems off in NGO4. I don't know why, but it just seems like you have to jump a little bit earlier for some reason.
That was me trying to stop and grab a hold of the ledge. No, I think that was me. I switched over to my dragon sword, yeah. So I tried to jump across, and I just missed it. So here I went ahead and jumped across the edge, killed the rat, and then I missed the rat with an exploding arrow. How bad do I play?
Now, that exploding arrow is just buff as shit. It's like, nah. It just bounced off him. That's a rat. I mean, think about it, man. That's a rat that can survive in these caverns with these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that rat is hardcore.
So here I go. This time I actually do it. But as you can see, I get 2 essence orbs by just killing the guy without a UT. Now, normally I would have my UF, but because I absorbed those couple blues, you know, I got to get the low health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this next fight coming up, like, you need the UF, I think. Did you get 8 here?
I got lucky right there. But see, this right here is costing me time. Yeah,
I mean, if you time this, like, it's substantially slower than using the little shortcut, because you have to wait for that.
Yeah, and I just, and again, it hurts me at the end, and it's fights, you know, that I can't fight. I wish they made the sound. I don't think it makes the sound like it does in NGB, him kind of dissolving.
No, it doesn't. It's weird. If you notice, though, like, you still get the little screen shake, if you look closely.
Watch this time limit. 48 seconds.
Oh yeah, so 48 seconds. Yeah, you don't get the sound, which is really weird.
A little lucky.
But yeah, the spawns can kind of mess you up here too, because again, if these guys spawn like at opposite ends, it's a bit tricky.
And again, not being able to rotate where these guys are and seeing when they pop up, and look at all that yummy money.
Yeah, I mean that's like what's that? Like 20 grand, I think there.
Man, I don't even know. And I think the strong part is that I think I missed my essence bonus. Look at that. A UT, a forward Y, and then.
Yeah.
So
he was cheeky. Oh man, can you imagine if that happened on Black and like it cost you the time limit? Man, you'd be so pissed.
Yeah. So this is a little tricky too, but at the end of the day, it's like I was going to switch over, I think, to my Davi, and I said, you know what, let me just come here and maybe UT the guy, and of course the essence is gone now, which I was kind of surprised at. I wonder if some of the triggers, you know, that switch or something maybe activates it a little bit different than what we're used to from Black. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, because it's happened a couple times.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that didn't chain, though. I really thought that would have chained. Did that not kill him? Oh, you weren't at, like, I was going to say.
Yeah.
You weren't at, like, pulsating health there. Because when that didn't kill him, I was like, whoa, what?
Right.
Like, why is
well,
he dead?
I think I was pretty low. Well, no, maybe I wasn't.
Yeah. I think you were just outside of the, you know, the flashing health.
What's that? There we go. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because this time it's real tight, isn't it?
Right. And the reason I did the Nympho there was to just kind of get oriented to where the guys were.
Yeah.
But see, and also we talked about the recovery frame from doing a UT from what we're used to. I got lucky that I killed 2. Of course, he didn't die yet.
Yeah, it's significantly longer. Like, I mean, pretty much a general rule of thumb for 04 is anything that involves you coming down from the ground has significantly more recovery in this game than it does in Black. So, you like throwing a shuriken, shurikens are actually the biggest thing I noticed. Like, the recovery from throwing shurikens is madness. Like, for best example of that is on Alma. One of the tricks you can do in Black is if your flying swallow misses, you throw shurikens because you recover from shurikens super fast. In this game, if you do that, she's almost guaranteed to hit you because shurikens recover so much slower than just letting a flying swallow whiff.
Yeah, see, just everything just seems a little bit different when you're so used to expecting a certain reaction from something. You know, it's and it doesn't happen. It takes a little while to get used to it. Oh, I think so. In my chapter 10 video, I wanted to show, or I showed, what was it, the electric worm, and killing them with the chucks. Since none of that's really out there, so I said, well, let's see what the difference is, if there is any, on this one. So again, the timing's critical, but that's all this part of it is right here. And I think it was like 430 something. To where it's
yeah, you can already tell that's going to be a lot less, just like looking at the health bar.
But I wanted to again just kind of do this for funskis, and I think this is the sun. But I do have another one kind of comparing it with, I think I have the Fortune on, because that's what I usually wear if I'm not wearing the sun. You know,
yeah, Fortune is kind of your default armor, really, isn't it? Because of the Nimpo bonus.
Yeah, and you know, you have the Tranquility, but I've really kind of forgotten all about it. And you know how you talked about that Kotetsu method? I actually kind of forgot about that until chapter 13.
Yeah.
But I think...
Yeah, it doesn't do that in Black, does it? It doesn't drain your health.
Right. And of course you can't do this in Black. So I figured I might as well get these on videos. Again, going back to, you know, the question, why are we doing this? Is because some of these techniques nobody's going to know except for us old-timey vets. Yeah,
except for us old, old-ass people.
Well, I mean, I'm old. You're still
players.
Young, but... Yeah. You know, some of the stuff people forget or didn't realize, and so at least it's out there for everybody to see. And again, I think this is a little bit different. Oh yeah, this is just my so I forgot what the other one was. What was it, 422 or 322 or something like that?
That was 322, yeah.
Okay.
So what's the time limit for this guy? Can you remember? Because the worm time limits are super generous, aren't they?
It's like 180 or something. I mean, I'll show it on the next fight whenever I actually finally fight him. But you know, we were talking about something on that last, what are those guys called anyway? The horned, spiky guys?
I just call them the magma things.
Yeah. And the ice.
Which someone's probably going to correct me on, because isn't magma like the stuff underground? Lava?
Oh, yeah.
Technically, I should call them lava fiends, but magma fiend sounds weird.
Yeah. Well,
magma fiend sounds badass. Lava fiend just sounds, whatever.
Yeah, I really hate that they took some of those guys out, and especially the ones from the ice caves. Those guys just look really cool. I forget the name of it. It's probably in your Prima strategy guide or something. Some of the names.
Bet on it.
So I think this one is, just the Fortune on. So we'll see the difference. What was it, 322 versus or whatever it was. So obviously it's going to take a little bit more not having the sun on, but again, just to kind of show something.
You think of the Armor of the Sun. I think there was a lot of kind of misinformation knocking around early on, like how much of a damage boost that gave you. It really isn't a lot. It's about 6% basically of whatever damage you're doing. And if you think of that in terms of like figures, like, you know, let's say for argument's sake, you know, every hit of that is like 1 hit point. If you're only getting 6% of 1, that's not really a whole lot of damage. Whereas if you look at the UF's damage output, you know, 6% damage boost to the UF is obviously going to be significantly more. So it kind of skews the Armlet of the Sun a little bit. Like, unless you're using the Armlet of the Sun with a weapon that is already extremely strong, there's no real point using it.
Right.
It's no good using the Armlet of the Sun and then only ever using, like, the Windmill Shuriken, because it's not that powerful. But the Armlet of the Sun with the True Dragon Sword, the level 3 to Billeroi, like, it's going to be substantial. You know?
So here, the timing's a little is critical. If you do it a little late, you'll fall into lava when you start your string again. But don't underestimate the explosive arrows. You know, going back to that flame worm, that does some damage while you're waiting. I could never get into the flying swallow at the worm and get into that little door he's at that, you know, JTB does in his video. So I just tried to do something else. But in NGB, I would get like 3 shots off, but in this one, I'd only get 2 shots off. So the time limit is 47 minutes. So, I mean, I barely, all that extra time, all that stuff adds up. The kills are 255. I think I actually scored a few more points in this chapter, believe it or not, than JTB. And I think that's because I went back and did the fish encounters, some of those encounters that he didn't do, where he ended up going through the city and, you know, got some of those respawning fights down to, like, you know, 1250 and 625. So I think, you know, trying to find the best pattern, the optimization, again, that's kind of a challenge of it. You know, his way or my way may not be the best way, but that's the reason we put that out, so people could understand, hey, you have options, and kind of pick your own path and see what you come up with. I mean, that's the reason, another reason why, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my pattern now because I've completely forgot what I did.
Well, like I said, you started out, I think, with going through the stadium. I mean, that's kind of default, just because I think of Ninja Gaiden Black is in all of our brains. To after you beat Doku, you always go out the stadium, because the other timers aren't an encountered fight or a timed fight anymore.
Yeah.
So I decided to go that way to, again, try to do something different. And, you know, I scored a few more points, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, I'm like a million points down just because of I'm not as fast and as optimal. And so all those points add up. Again, it's not always what we do right, but what we do wrong that hopefully can improve some players. So
yeah,
that's it for this chapter, chapter 13. It's on its way, not with this one, but some other day. But I appreciate everybody watching it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, any questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, let us know. We'll try to answer questions. But I think that's it, guys. Y'all take care.
Catch you next time, everybody.